You have arrived at your destination.
Hi, this is Gene Simmons from KISS, and you're listening to Sean vs. Wild. And guess what? Now that you've heard this, you owe me $29.95. Go to kissonline.com. Boom.
That's right, guys. You have arrived at your destination, the single greatest podcast on planet Earth. I'm talking about the Sean vs. Wild podcast. And I'm your host, as always, the man, the myth, the Sean Thriller Smith, the guy putting rad back into talk radio. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Another Tuesday spent together. I can't wait. Lined up for the show, I got Rob Cruz from Moonwalker making a comeback, his second appearance on the Sean vs. Wild podcast. This time we sat down via Skype. We were able to look at each other. We're both two handsome, super handsome guys, and we were able to look at each other. And we're talking all about Moonwalker's brand new single, Level Up, just dropped a couple weeks ago, and they got a brand new music video that will be dropping for it on Friday. So stay tuned. I'll have all the links, of course, as always, in the show notes below so you can keep up with them. But man, this band is amazing. They just keep growing more and more awesome as the time goes by. We're talking about songwriting. We're talking about all of our favorite things, man. We're talking about Warped Tour this summer. It's the last Warped Tour. You guys going? I know I'll probably go. I'll definitely show up a couple times. Hopefully snag some interviews for you guys. You know, if there's a band that's on the old Warped Tour that you want to see, you just let me know. Speaking of awesome bands that you definitely want to see, I got to tell you about an awesome show coming up for you right here. If you live in the Louisville metro area or the tri-state area or the surrounding area, if you live in the United States, you're going to want to check out this show. Your boy Sean here is going to be sponsoring it. Along with Riot Heart, and it's the Fox Bat album release show, guys. You guys know Fox Bat. They've been on the show several times. I'm very excited about it, man. Those are my homies. They're my neighbors, my brothers. I mean, those guys are amazing. They're releasing their second album, Rot Gut, and that show is going to be absolutely killer, man. That's going to be Saturday, August 4th, 7 p.m., Headliners Music Hall, 1386 Lexington Road, Louisville, Kentucky, 40206. Headliners, man. I loved playing headliners back in the day. So I'm definitely going to be excited to get back up there, check out some awesome music. And you might hear me, I don't know, who knows what I'll do. Maybe I'll deliver some of the amazing vocal work in between bands. Who knows? But you'll definitely see me around. I'll be selling merchandise. All the bands are going to be selling merchandise. Make sure you check everybody out. If you live in the United States or North America, the continental U.S., if you live on this side of the hemisphere of the earth, you're not going to want to miss that show. Again, Saturday, August 4th, Headliners Music Hall. You got Fox Bat, Guerrilla Warfare versus Light Treasons and Summer Youth. A lot of Sean vs. Wild alumni on this show. Just got to get verses on there. So verses... here's your chance, Fancy. Don't let me down. Get you on the podcast here. We'll promote this show. Yeah. And also, talking about stuff I got to promote, I want to talk about an excellent playlist here. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Revival 52 playlist. Yeah, that's right. Revival Recordings is putting out a new single every Friday, 52 weeks out of the year of 2018. Guys, there's already 26 plus songs for you to enjoy. And there's going to be 26 or so for you to enjoy for the rest of the year. All you have to do is go to ffm.to/revival52. That's ffm.to/revival52. Follow that playlist on Spotify, brother. What are you waiting for? Even sweeter of a deal. Once they hit 1,000 followers, they're going to be giving away an Amazon Echo. And who doesn't love an Amazon Echo? I want one. You want one. If I don't win, I hope you win. And if you win, again, I say it every week. Just let me see it. Let me hang out with it. Let me see what this Amazon Echo is all about. But yeah, dude. And speaking of Amazon, big shout out to Audible. Audible's my one of my first sponsors there. Audible is going to be setting you up with a free 30-day trial just for listening to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/Sean vs. Wild. That's audibletrial.com/Sean vs. Wild. Audible's an Amazon company hooking you up with audiobooks. Choose from over 180,000 of those motherfuckers, man. Yeah, there's a lot of audiobooks there, bro. And yeah, check it out. Get yourself a book. Get yourself 30 days of free service there. And if you like it, keep it. If you don't, whatever. And so keep your audiobook. Awesome. And when you do, it helps keep the lights on here at the Smithsonian. So definitely big shout out to Audible. Big shout out to my OG sponsor, Audiophile Inc. Shane from Audiophile Inc.'s been printing my merchandise for decades. You guys know that already. All you have to do is go to audiophileinc.com, AUDIOPHILEINK.com. Tell them the Wild Man sent you. Shane's going to hook you up with the best deal in town, no matter what town you live in. Big shout out to Joe Brock for booping the dials. Hopefully you've been hitting him up at Joe Brock at brockandrollproductions.com to make you sound this awesome. If not, what are you waiting for? Big shout out to Joe. That's going to be it for me, guys. Coming up here, my big interview with Rob Cruz from Moonwalker. Can't wait, guys. Let's get wild. All right, Rob, we're back again. First time we've chatted in a few months, and now we're harnessing the power of the internet, technology, and we're Skyping, and we're actually able to see each other.
Yes, way better than last time, because I remember, I believe we were in, Mark and I were calling you from this, I think it was a Flying J, like 40 minutes outside of LA, and I was at least horribly hungover. I was in the van, and then Mark was like inside in this cafe. Like, I think like both of us were like, what? No, after you. No, what?
Yeah, no, you. No, after you. No.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm too hungover to answer, Mark. You got this. I've had many a night like that, or I should say many a morning. There have been times where I was like so hungover, I'm like, oh man, I'm just going to sweat it out here in this HEB parking lot in,
Yes.
Austin, Texas.
Yes, dude.
One time I got, I woke up here in the middle of a truck stop, and I want to say it was somewhere unexpected, like somewhere like, say, New Mexico or what have you. But it was definitely not a truck stop chain, a commercial chain of truck stops. It was like this independently owned thing. And it was huge. It looked like some sort of like sidewalk tourist attraction there in like New Mexico, like they have. And then the whole place just reeked of Indian food. And apparently it was a truck stop / Indian food buffet.
Ooh. Some of those independent ones are actually some of the best. I've had some banging food at truck stops I've never heard before. They're definitely better than the chains because they just have like McDonald's, Taco Bell,
Denny's.
Yeah.
Like every Flying J's got the Denny's.
I'm not going to sit here and knock Denny's, but,
It's all about the moons over my hammy.
What was that?
It's all about the moons over my hammy, dude. We're starting it already. We're back right where we left off. We're picking right back up. Excuse me, what was that? Go ahead. No, you go. And we're even looking at each other this time. But I feel like you had your eyes closed.
Yes, I did a little bit.
Dude, I will tell you this. It's like looking at a mirror. And for you, it's probably like looking at a funhouse mirror where everything's shorter and fatter. But, Rob, look at us, just two handsome gentlemen yakking it up on the podcast.
With the beautiful heads.
Beautiful heads of hair almost there, but great beards.
Great beards.
So,
as Chris D'Elia puts it, it's a upside down head.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, is like if you're bald, you got to have a beard. Otherwise, you just have nothing going on right now. You know what I'm saying? You have no style going on.
That's true. I was actually telling someone I'm super thankful that I could at least grow a beard because that would be really awkward if not, I feel like I got to have something in the head region. Yeah,
to make women find you desirable. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Same. And if not, you just have to have like a big hat collection.
Yeah. And nowadays, I've been rocking the hat and the sunglasses, and with the beard, I feel like I'm in disguise all the time.
Yeah, dude. The John Lennon glasses, man, that's a great look if you're bald. Thank you to Tom Hardy in the movie Bronson for making that happen for bald men everywhere. Big shout out.
It's truly a gift. At first, I thought I don't know why I should have assumed Lennon at first, but I was like, oh, these are Morpheus glasses.
Yeah, they have no. Dude, are you wearing the ones that have like no arms on the side? They just balance perfectly on the bridge of your nose. They like clip on somehow.
I wish that would be such a sick look. I would just be red pilling the world,
dude. I'm thinking, Is
that the red pill, the one that enters you into the Matrix?
I think so. It's the one that wakes you up.
Okay, because now it's a new term, like on the internet.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Red pilling you.
Yeah, like you're getting red pilled. Isn't that like about like men waking up to like their masculinity or something? Isn't that what red pill is about?
Yeah, I think it's like when like they kind of like convert people to like more like conservative values, I guess.
Yeah.
They call it red pilling people.
Man, we're going down a weird rabbit hole right now, guys. This isn't the Red Pill podcast, believe it or not. This is actually the Sean versus Wild podcast. And today on the show, I've got Rob Cruz back from Moonwalker. It's Moonwalker Part 2, Cruise Control, today here on the Sean versus Wild podcast. Rob, how have you been, brother?
I've been pretty good, man. Can't complain. Just doing the band thing. Just dropped a song. Stoked about that. Getting ready for some cool shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So you decided to go on the single greatest podcast on earth to talk about it. Move over, Mark Maron. Jump back, Joe Rogan. Sean versus Wild is the place that people want to go.
Hell yeah, dude.
When it comes to promote
I
their music.
Take a stop by the Smithsonian real fast to see what's good with my buddy Sean.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up. So here we are in the Virtual Smithsonian. I actually have a copy of Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. I'm not sure which one's better, you or the movie Moonwalker starring Michael Jackson. Just kidding. The Moonwalker movie is weird, but I love it. Just like... But yeah, I have that playing in the background here, so I'll be enjoying that as well as we chat.
Right on. Hey, it sets a good feng shui. Is that the right word?
Yeah, dude, the ambiance.
Ambiance, that's it.
Yeah, dude. Well, I tell you what, I've noticed today I'm wearing a black and red hat, a black and red pair of glasses, and a black and red T-shirt. And what I like to call that is I am Jurassic Park'd out.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you what that story means. Guys, I know you tune in to hear how stupid my stories are. Let me tell you a stupid story real quick. When I was a kid, I was in elementary school when Jurassic Park came out, probably third grade. And there was a time where we were in art class, and everybody was like, okay, yeah, we're making some stuff out of construction paper. Pick your 2 favorite colors and, go, whatever, cut this shit out of construction paper or whatever. And everybody would be like, oh, man, I'm going to get blue and yellow. Man, that's Indiana Pacers colors. Or I'm going to get, teal and purple. That's Charlotte Hornets colors. And I remember this kid that picked black and red, and he just tells the table, he's like, yeah, man, Jurassic Park colors. And I thought that was so great because it's not like the Chicago Bulls didn't exist. It's not like the Miami Heat weren't around, but instead he considered them Jurassic Park colors. So I'm Jurassic Park'd out today in my black and red.
I gotta respect that.
Yeah,
that's so funny how like people's brains just go to certain things like that. Yeah, Jurassic Park. Black and red, first thing I think of.
And what's so great too is it's like, yeah, there is a little bit of red, but there's also, yellow in the logo. There's white. I guess you would say green for the foliage and the Jeeps. Jurassic Park can make you think of any color, but black and red was what this guy had to say. He was Jurassic Park'd out. So now I am too, guys.
Hell yeah, dude.
And if you're Jurassic Park'd out, go ahead and write the show and tell me all about how Jurassic Park'd out you are. But guys, again, not the Jurassic Park podcast. This is I'm hanging out with Mr. Cruz here today from Moonwalker. So, dude, what has been up since we spoke last, since that fateful morning in a truck stop parking lot?
Ooh, what's been up? We've been going through some changes, lineup changes, musical changes. We signed to Standby Records, which has been super cool.
Which is a huge deal.
It's been great, man, and we're just gearing up to release our first ever full length record, which I'm super fucking excited about. This is probably the most proud I've ever been of any piece of music I've ever done. So the fact that we dropped one song off it already has just been super exciting for me. I've just been over the moon.
Yeah, man. And you said that you're going to be, what's the schedule like before leading up to the full-length album?
So we're just going to release a few singles. We just dropped Level Up, and we're going to drop a music video for that on the 13th. And then a few weeks after that, we're going to actually drop a remix for that song. And then we're going to do that cycle over again for 2 or 3 more songs before we drop the full length. And then there you go, baby.
You just got to make it happen, dude. You're going to be just like Michael Jackson himself, man, releasing all these hit singles and then dropping the Thriller on everybody. Let me ask you a question. Since your band is called Moonwalker, are you a huge MJ fan?
I'm actually not super well versed in the MJ, which seems like a sin.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel
know,
like I should be way more familiar with his catalog. I mean, we have Thriller in the van.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a good start, man.
Yeah.
So you might as well start with the best-selling album of all time.
Not a bad place to start.
Yeah, dude. Don't worry. I'll school you, man. You'll just call me. We'll have many a late night where I'm like just feeding you Michael Jackson trivia, and I'll just tell you all about it, and then you'll be an expert.
That would really help us out, man.
I'm sure this is probably not the first time you've been asked a Michael Jackson related question when you're doing some promotion for your work.
We actually don't get them all too much, but on our Facebook, we get a ton of people following us that are just like MJ fan accounts.
Amazing.
I'm like, hey, we'll take them.
Hey, yeah, dude. These accounts might be gone tomorrow, but you know what? For today, we're going to hit you with some jams. That's for sure. And I feel like anybody that likes MJ, they're going to take a listen to Moonwalker and be like, dang, man, I can get into this too.
That's what we're banking on.
Yeah, every MJ fan is just going to go, dang, brother.
Dang, brother. Even if they are a bot, Yeah, we're taking all comers, dude.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Also, too, I want to go ahead. Hopefully, it shows up. You'll hear it on the podcast. But, guys, no matter what day it is in July, if you're in Indiana, you're going to have fireworks being shot off. Those are not gunshots. Okay, we're not. This is not. We're not in the middle of any turf war here on the podcast. You're just in the middle of some Roman candles and some snakes and sparklers.
Hell yeah.
Dude, do you get that? Is that a thing in New York where people just light off fireworks all month of July?
In New York, I'm not sure. I'm actually living in South Jersey, pretty close to Philly. I think fireworks are illegal here, or maybe they loosened up on it a little bit. But pretty much everyone I know, we just go over the river to Philly, get all the good fireworks there, get a few rockets, blast those babies off. Do it right. Just
do it right for America. You got, obviously, by the time this podcast comes out, you would have had an amazing 4th of July.
Yeah, I'm hoping, dude. Got a few different barbecues I'm hopping to and from, which is going to be nice.
I know you're a barbecue man.
Mark and I are both huge barbecue guys. I'm not huge on making the stuff on the barbecue, but I'll eat it.
I'm a huge fan of eating things on a grill.
Yeah, I love eating stuff.
What's your go-to barbecue food?
Go-to barbecue food? I mean, it's got to be just a classic burg. One thing I used to love making on Warped Tour, it was, I don't know if I invented it. I'd like to think I did. It's called the queso dog.
Oh, man. Tell me, what are the secret ingredients of the queso dog?
So... But you just start with the dog. You just cook that baby to perfection, get it nice. And we get a tortilla. I get a queso, spread it evenly throughout the tortilla, put the dog in, wrap it like a burrito. Boom.
I like
queso dog.
I like where you're going with that. I'm going to have to give that a whirl. Actually, when I was a kid, they used to sell these frozen burritos. Growing up poor, like you eat a lot of crap food that is just like frozen. And so frozen burritos are always like, we always had them in the freezer at the house. And one of the flavors was actually chili dog. And guess what? There was a hot dog in it. Could you imagine getting that surprise? I got it once. I was like, oh, this probably just tastes like a chili dog. Like it's got, chili and onions and whatever goes in there. Surprise, there was a hot dog in there too.
Get this. There's a hot dog
in it, dude. Check this out. I'm making this burger, and surprise, a slice of cheese falls right on top of it. And I came up with this name. Let me know what you think about it. I call it the cheeseburger.
The cheeseburger. That's my favorite inside joke I have with anyone. There's so many people that you don't know who have heard that joke.
I can't wait. I can't wait to, guys, if you've heard that joke from Rob, go ahead and write in to the show and let us know what you think about the joke, because I think the only people that like it are me, Mark, and Rob. That's it. I like it too that like I ask him like, hey man, can you shoot me an MP3 so that way I have it for the podcast, and it's just titled "It's a Cheeseburger."
I was hoping you'd dig that.
Absolutely, man. So so you guys did you guys go back and hit the studio in between the last time we spoke, or what? I mean, are these new recordings? Are these things that you've had around, or?
Yeah, so basically this time around, we made it differently than we've ever made an album. So over the span of like a year and a half of Moonwalker being a band, Mark has gotten way more proficient with using Logic and recording on there and just getting different kind of synth sounds and drum tones and stuff like that. So we basically tracked everything on our own, except the vocals that we did with Rob Freeman. And then we sent everything over to him, and then he just mixed and mastered it. And that was the first time we ever made an album like that.
That's amazing.
Which was, it was really cool, man, because we felt like we were a little more in control of our own destiny of how it was going to come out. And it was cheaper too, so hey.
Yeah, no, you got to love that, dude. Like, I love that in 2018, like, you can literally have most of your production right in your own home. You don't have to spend a lot of time, renting out a lot of studio space, a lot of studio time. You rent it out at the end. Hey, I'm going to track the vocals here. I'm going to get it mixed and mastered, and then, do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of crazy. I was telling Mark, it's kind of like, it seems like technology for musicians, it's imprisoned us in some ways, but it's liberated us in a ton of ways too. It's kind of crazy. Just with like album sales, that's not really much of a thing as it used to be. But I mean, pretty much anyone can make a decent recording now, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people can express themselves, and it's not going to be hindered by, oh, dude, this recording is total dog shit,
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess what you have with that is, I guess some would say that now the market is too saturated, but I really think like if you're good, people are going to hear it, at least some, and that's enough,
Yeah, and also too, you can't just be on the wrong side of history with this. You can't just sit back and be like, you know what, I'm not going to embrace the technology. I'm not going to do these things DIY. I'm going to do this and do that. Like, I mean, yeah, that might be great if you're like a huge rock star and you're like, I'm going to go to the studio and I'm going to do this and do that, and like you have the money. But as a band that's like up and coming, dude, you have to kind of roll with the times. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just going to end up, left out in the cold there.
Yeah, exactly. I've been super interested about just how everything's changing so much. Like, I feel like that things are like way different than they were even like 2 or 3 years ago, which is like crazy. I've been super interested in just finding out what other genres they're doing, even like marketing wise. I've been watching a ton of channels about hip hop stars, like how they approach their branding and just like how much like content they post. It's super interesting because rappers are honestly killing the game right now.
I've mentioned it before on the show, but it's like rap and rappers, it's the new rock and roll, man. It's the new rock stars. Like the rock stars that you're used to seeing in the 80s, man. We're not going to see that again, or if we do, it's going to be years from now, because the rappers are the ones that have taken over that mantle, man. It's like they're charismatic, they're their own characters, they say whatever they want, they do whatever they want, they have the fame, they have the fortune, all that kind of decadent lifestyle. It's all in the rap and hip-hop game now. Yeah,
it's super true. And so someone was telling me it is really interesting that the voice of rebellion for a lot of younger people now, it's not like these rock bands. A lot of it's like Lil Pump.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's pissing the parents off now.
Yeah, a bunch of just kids with tattoos all over their faces.
Yeah, that blows my mind. I don't think I would want to make it that bad, to like tap my face up.
I will tell you this. I remember being, 17, 18. All my heroes had like, full sleeves of tattoos and stuff like that, all the punk rock dudes. And I was like, man, I'm going to get a bunch of tattoos. I'm going to do this. And I want to be like this. And, I remember seeing people that would go to shows and they'd already had a bunch of tattoos. I'm like, man, this is so awesome. I can imagine, a generation these days thinking the exact same thing about people having like 3 tattoos. They're all on their face and neck.
True. Yeah, the face is bold, man.
I agree. It's a little too bold for me. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe if I had a little bit of extra money, I was always thinking like I would just get a gnarly tattoo on my bald head, man, like Bam Bam Bigelow or somebody.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just get like some gnarly tattoo that just says like, "Hey, dude, I'm a badass." But I don't know if I could just do my face, bro. I think head is totally different than you're even like getting your face done.
Yeah, I think you're right. Something about the head, even though it is around the same area, it's not inherently. Because you know what it is?
You can wear a hat.
You can wear a hat, and the face is where all the emotions are. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's what we're looking into. We're peering into each other's faces all day, every day. Imagine if you just had like a tat that says "always tired."
Yeah.
And Post Malone did just get that tattoo on his face, and it says "always tired."
Yeah. Holy shit. That blows my mind. I do like his music though, but I mean, hey,
move.
if you have the balls to do it, man, I guess I gotta throw some respect on that.
Well, let's play a game right now. Since we are hypothetically going to be tattooing our faces very soon, what are you going to get tattooed on your face? What phrase would you get?
Ooh. I guess I would do like the 2 words like Post Malone.
Yeah, obviously.
One under each eye, and I would get no entry.
Perfect, man.
Yeah,
sounds great.
No entry.
I would just get one that says. I would just get a tattoo that just says like dangerous, and one that just says off the wall. Just get 2 Michael. Like, oh, dude, I just really love Vans shoes and Michael Jackson. For all you young kids that didn't know Off the Wall was a Michael Jackson record. Whatever. I don't know what we would get, but still. Well, it's a work in progress, guys.
I liked it.
Just get a badass one that just says Lynyrd Skynyrd.
You know what's nuts about Lynyrd Skynyrd? I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but it's a cool enough point to make twice.
Yeah.
My dad's from Jacksonville, Florida, and so is Lynyrd Skynyrd. And before they were famous, they were like playing his junior proms and stuff, just like playing cover songs.
Man, that's insane.
I know.
So your dad's like, hell, man, I've seen Skynyrd 1,000 times, brother. Ain't no big deal.
Yeah, that a part of me really wishes that he, like, before they even wrote Freebird, if they're like, what do you think we should play next? I wish my dad was the first guy to go like, Freebird.
Freebird. Yeah.
They're like, what? This is going to be hilarious one day.
What did you say, Mr. Cruz? Freebird? We haven't written that yet. But that's a great title for a song.
Make the solo 7 minutes.
Ronnie, did you hear that? He said Freebird. We got to write a song like this, said Artemis Pyle to Ronnie Van Zant. The only 2 members of Lynyrd Skynyrd that I know.
Yeah. I don't think I knew any of their names till this moment.
Till this moment, guys. Let the man that's Jurassic Park'd out tell you all about the members of Lynyrd Skynyrd. At least 2 of them. But yeah, dude. That's pretty crazy, though, that your dad went to school with Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's pretty legit.
It's pretty nuts. He used to have like the drummer's drumstick, and then he lost it. Bummer.
Bummer, man. Yeah,
Bummer.
Dude, my other friend was playing in the marching band. I had to let him borrow it. So, the end of that story. What celebrities have you met, man? Have you ever ran across any just in the natural habitat?
Well, when every time we played in LA, I would go by myself to the world famous Comedy Store. I don't know if you heard of that place.
Yeah, it is world famous.
Yes.
Owned by Pauly Shore's mom.
What? Oh, yeah. R.I.P. Mitzi. But yes, for those of you who don't know, it's just like a super huge comedy club in LA. Like all the biggest comics in the world stop through there to do a set, and just like to work out new material and stuff. And I was hanging at the bar outside, and I just like looked to my right, and like literally like 2 feet away from me is Chris D'Elia, which I thought was pretty cool.
Hey, man, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, Chris D'Elia, and then during the show, I was like front row by myself, and then Jeff Ross was on, and he was roasting me, and that was like the best moment of my life.
What did he say about you?
he pointed out that I was definitely there by myself.
Right, because you were literally in the front row all alone.
Yeah. And then I think I was wearing like a black shirt, like my trucker hat, and a blue denim. And he asked me like why I looked like a famous country star or something like that.
That's funny.
And I was like, this is amazing. This guy roasted Trump on TV. Now he's roasting me.
Yeah, dude. What do you think was his crowning achievement, roasting you or Trump?
I would say probably me.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't even know, dude.
But Trump was a close second. Yeah, he didn't even know who he was dealing with, bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully you caught it
didn't
on.
know.
Hopefully you caught it on your webcam, bro. So that way you can upload it later, and you can be like, "Dude, Jeff Ross, remember that time you tried to roast me? Well, how did that work out for you, buddy? Here I am making millions of dollars, and you're just making fun of me."
Hell yeah, dude.
I showed you who's boss.
The ultimate roast.
Yeah, who's roasting who, Ross?
Have you met any celebrities?
Dude, well, I went to. No, I haven't really met any celebrities other than like at Comic-Con and stuff like that. Actually, I ran into the Bella Twins once. That was cool. Again, at a Comic-Con, but whatever, ran into them, not in the line. So that was legit. So for any of you wrestling fans, Total Divas fans out there, that happened. But yeah, dude. No, I actually ran into Pete Gass, too. Speaking of comedians, you know who Pete Gass is from Howard Stern's show? And he does all the impressions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he actually did an impression that will air at the beginning of this podcast. And what's so funny is, like, I thought for sure, I was like, man, this is hilarious. Let me get you to record this, because he does an awesome impression of Gene Simmons from Kiss. And I was like, dude, can I get you doing your Gene Simmons impression? So he does it, and it sounds just like Gene Simmons. He's like, oh, this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. You're listening to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. Whatever. And the thing is, I've been playing it, and like literally no one has commented on it. And I'm like, what do you mean? All you people, not one person was like, dude, Gene Simmons from Kiss introduced your podcast? Like, it's like people don't care. Or people probably expect it from me because I'm such a huge Kiss fan. They're probably like, oh, whatever. He got Gene Simmons, so what? He's an old creep.
I mean, hey, the cast is blowing up. Just seems like par for the course, It's like, of course he would get Gene Simmons.
Of course, man. Next level. Surprise, guys. It's Pete Gass, celebrity impersonator. Comedian from the Howard Stern show. You've been swerved, but hey, both are celebrities, so suck it.
Classic ruse.
Classic bait and switch. But dude, hey, let's talk about your brand new single, Level Up. Let's get back here to the music, because I know you didn't want to just talk about queso dogs with me, even though I'm going to be hitting on that subject pretty hard later. I'm going to be getting your secret recipe again.
Dude, I love queso dogs. I love talking about it with you. Down to talk about anything, dude.
Absolutely. Well, dude, let's talk about your brand new single, Level Up. Man, give me the background deets. Where were you in your life, man, when you were writing this? Tell me all
when I was writing
give everybody
this,
the big sob story or the big awesome story.
Well, for this one, this was the first song on this record that we really wrote that kind of dictated what the rest of the album was going to sound like. This was when we were still touring pretty heavy, and Mark wrote all the music on Logic. And that was one of those songs that just like really fell in place really quickly. Like, sometimes when you're writing melodies, like sometimes it comes to you in like 1 second. Sometimes you really got to grind it out. But this time it was like, I had like the whole song written just like a half hour, like melodically. And then, that was really cool. That was like the first time we really figured out how we wanted to mesh all of our influences with more like funk, soul, rock, hip hop, just like everything like that. That was the first time we felt like we really got it as far as like blending it all correctly.
Yes, we finally got the perfect recipe, and we've baked a sweet beef castle.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. A perfect beef castle, especially for Mark and I, the grill masters, bringing it full circle here. But
exactly.
But yeah, man, it was kind of interesting because when the band started, everything moved really fast. Like we recorded the first 3 songs we wrote, and then we went on the road immediately. We did like 2 full U.S. tours, like the moment we started being a band. And we didn't really know who we were yet at all. We just had these like every single song we wrote just went right into the set. because we
Right.
had no material. And then just from playing live so much, we kind of got to speed up the process of finding ourselves, like how we mesh with everything and what we like doing live. So I would say with Level Up, that was like the first time we were like, oh, like this is like kind of what our sound is, you know?
Right, exactly. Well, that's awesome. And I've talked to a lot of people too, where they just literally say, you know, some of the best work, some of the most like, you know, iconic songs of our catalog are the ones that just come out and you know, you write them and they're done in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fun story about that is actually when Kevin and I were starting playing music again and taking it to a direction, we wrote this song. We wrote it in about 30 minutes, and it was called "Uh-Huh, Baby, Yeah." And that was like the song that became like the single. That was like whatever. And then we changed our band name, and they're like, "Well, what's something that is you know, that you guys." That people can look up and would be able to find you guys. And I was like, well, our first single was called Uh-Huh, Baby, Yeah. And they're like, well, okay, fine. We'll just name your band that. So that way when people Google search it, they'll find it. But had we not spent 30 minutes writing this song, you know, we could be called something else. We might be called Moonwalker. Hell, man. You know, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, man. The John Mayer put it really best. Like, no one ever got a good song just from wanting a good song.
Right.
You know, it really just has to happen, which, you know, could be a huge pain in the ass sometimes because you're just waiting around. But for us, that seems to be how the most organic stuff happens.
Just comes naturally, man. You just got to let it flow. You know, once you get inspired, you got to just keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some songs where you're just grinding it out for so long and you want it to work so bad, but you just got to know when to abandon ship.
Right, exactly. You're like, all right, guys, we've been practicing this for a few weeks. Maybe we'll just revisit it later. Keep it in your pocket.
Yeah, and we definitely had a few of those on this record in the writing process, but yeah, figured it out, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, what's Leveled Up about, brother?
The song's basically the main idea is just about growing up. I mean, me personally, I was growing up. I was like a really sensitive kid.
I cannot see that from you, Rob.
Yeah, man. I was. I don't know. I mean, I guess most kids are kind of sensitive, but yeah, just like growing up, I kind of there was a lot of stuff that I had to learn on my own just from growing up, as anyone does, and it's kind of about toughening up, but not becoming jaded. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and just making necessary changes that you got to make just to make it through. And you know, everyone has a choice to either deal with your shit head on or just let it take you. You know?
Yeah, and it's just about putting your foot down and say, "Hey, man, I'm not going to let it consume me. I'm going to level up."
Gonna level up, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Mark. Mark came up with the name.
This isn't my final form.
Yes.
For all you
leveling up
anime dorks out there. This isn't my final form. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's not hold off any longer. Let's go ahead and check out the hot new single, and we'll talk about it on the other side of this song. But this is Level Up by Moonwalker.
About to leave, pushing in the shoving of his itty bitty heart, forced out the salt from his wounds. He's a killer. When you lose, you can kill it
right, everybody. That was Level Up by Moonwalker. Rob, I almost lost you there in that big vape cloud you just blew.
Oh yeah, baby.
Dude, I was
almost
like,
disappeared.
dude, it was like, man, this fog is thicker than London pea soup. I don't know. London fog, pea soup. Shit, I tried. Whatever, guys. Jokes would be funnier if I didn't blow them.
I got to respect the swing. I've actually been dipping my toes into stand-up, so I've been well-versed in the old swing and the miss.
Yeah, dude, definitely. The big swing and a miss. And the thing is, too, is once the recorder starts going again, you're like, all right, man, I'm going to have to really church it up here because we're back rolling again. We want to start off strong. Yeah, I just blew it. Whatever, guys. No big deal. But yeah,
hey, man.
I will say that screen was foggier than whenever I tried to message you earlier, and I was just like, "What's going on? I can't see anything." And then I realized I had my webcam covered up because I have a fear of the government.
Yeah, dude, me too. Everyone's been telling me that they're watching, and then I saw that episode of Black Mirror,
exactly,
where they hacked into that kid's account. I only saw 2 episodes of Black Mirror, and it was that one and the other one where they can I curse on here?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So the one where they made the
dude fucked a pig,
the president like fuck a pig or something.
Yep.
And I was like, is this just a show about blackmailing people?
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Black Mirror, it's a little too, I don't know, it hits too close to home for me. I find it frightening, and frankly, I watch it sparingly because it's a little too deep for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, this show bums me out. I would rather watch like The Office or something.
Yeah, I'm just going to slowly turn a blind eye to all this insane world shit and watch The Office, guys, because that makes me feel good. I'll laugh all the way to the grave.
Exactly. I just stick to like I don't watch too many shows, so I basically just like watch The Office and stand-up specials. That's like basically it for me.
Who's your favorite stand-up on Netflix right now?
Ooh, dude, my fucking favorite of all time is Bill Burr, 100%.
I remember you telling me that you're a big Bill Burr guy.
Yeah, I love him. I drove 4 hours by myself to see him in Virginia, and then drove straight back home.
Dude, did he make fun of you to go like, hey, man, this guy's obviously here by himself and looks very tired at it while he's at it, you know?
I was like way back because I bought the tickets that day. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go. I always wanted to see him. And I knew he was performing the stuff he was about to do in his new special. And yeah, just went out on a whim. I'm like the biggest stand-up nerd of all time. That's like what I'm not into like sports or anything, but I'm like so obsessed with the world of stand-up comedy.
So stand-up is it's your sport. For me, I love pro wrestling, but I also like stand-up. But pro wrestling to me is like my basketball, you know?
Yeah, I feel you, dude. It's nice to like be that interested in something besides like, you know, music or like podcast. Like
exactly.
That for me, like I since I'm like writing music, performing it, doing it all the time. When I'm on a long drive, I actually don't go to music. I go to like comedy or like podcasts or something like that.
That's what got me into doing podcasts. That's what got me interested in wanting to host one. Is simply I just started listening to them on the road because I was so burnt out on hearing music all the time. Yeah,
exactly, man. And it's something about it's just like so engaging. And it could not be true, but I just feel smarter from just listening to so many podcasts.
Yeah, and I'm sure most people feel that way after listening to the Sean versus Wild podcast. That's for sure. People come back and be like, man, I'm way smarter. I've learned so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Jump back, Joe Rogan. You don't have the market cornered on, you know. See, I can't even knock it out of the park. You don't have the market cornered on witty banter. Joe Rogan. Don't worry, guys. I'm working
Joe
on
Rogan. We're high on we each took 6 Alpha Brains before we did this.
Yes, and what Alpha Brain and what's that coffee that he's caveman coffee? He's always
the
hawking?
caveman like it's like nitro or something like
yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
We had our Alpha Brains and our caveman coffee, and we are just bouncing off the proverbial walls of the Virtual Smithsonian right now.
Oh yeah.
But dude, also let me ask you here because we just checked out Level Up. It is awesome. I've been jamming it all day long, man. I got to give you a big shout out, big kudos to you because your vocals are top notch on that song.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
I feel it really shows your range. Obviously, the high falsettos, but there's also a lot of power going on, man. And I think anybody that likes, rock or pop or punk rock or R&B, and it's just such a mix of all these genres that I think somebody, no matter what you're into, that listens to it's going to go home happy.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, dude. It was a lot of fun, man, because I've just been in so many different kind of bands over the years and have had to just try out so many different kind of styles.
Sure.
So it actually came in handy when we did this band, because I felt like the music really kind of called for doing just a bunch of different things. And I'm just super thankful for having failed at singing at those styles for so long, where
Right.
I can at least do it decent enough to get the melody across. So
Yeah, man. Well, it's
yeah,
totally working out for you. You're knocking that out of the park. No problems there.
thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that, man.
Dude, and not only is Level Up a killer song, but you're going to level it up again by releasing an insane video on Friday. So
Yes, sir.
on the 13th of July, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check it out on YouTube and everywhere else, I would take it.
Yeah, we're gonna release it on YouTube. I'm guessing Vimeo. We're gonna get it on.
Is it gonna be on
that
Napster, dude?
brand, what?
Is it going to be on Napster for me to download?
Hell yeah, it's gonna be on Napster. We're actually gonna buy all the stock to Napster and make that the only thing available for you to illegally download. And then I think we're gonna get it on that brand spanking new Instagram TV, John, that they got going on now.
That's what's up, dude. Strike
So if
while
you
the iron's
follow us,
hot.
yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, you should be able to get it no problem on there. And but yeah, that one's gonna be cool. It's without revealing too much, it's just super vibey. It's it matches the song really well. It's very colorful, I'll say.
Well, fantastic. I can't wait to see it, man. Maybe you'll give me a sneak peek because we're best friends.
Oh, I got you, dude. I got you.
That's what's up. Dude, also, too, I got to give a big shout out to all of your promotional material going on Facebook right now, because I love every picture and every caption that Moonwalker posts and that you post as well. They're so
thank you, dude.
awesome.
Dude, yeah, that's been a conscious thing for me, at least. I'll just sit there for 5 minutes. I'm like, I gotta get the caption down.
Dude, what's the best caption you've ripped lately?
Let me think. I'm stoked on it's one picture of Mark and I'm pointing to the camera, and I said something like, "This is our profile picture for our Thrinder account."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. So, guys, if you haven't yet, obviously check out the Moonwalker Facebook for the music and for the tour dates and for all the news, but definitely check it out for the post, because you're going to love it. So
Hell yeah.
all the pictures and all the captions, top notch, making it happen.
Yes, we've been trying to nail that aesthetic lately.
Well, hey, dude, you're doing a great job. Also, too, speaking of, being on Facebook, keeping up with all the news and all the tour dates and stuff, you guys got some shows coming up as well.
Yeah, so we're playing July 21st in Philadelphia in Ortlieb's, and then July 19th we're playing in Brooklyn at Kingsland.
Dude, Mark
That's the name
coming
of the
through
venue.
with you on that text message.
Yeah, he came through.
Dude, big shout out to Mark the Shark. World Dryer Company's not been the same since you've left, bro.
With all the world-class deets.
Yeah, dude. But so you got Brooklyn coming up on the 19th, Philadelphia in the 21st. What do you like? Do you like? Are you a big fan now? I know you relocated from Poughkeepsie to now. You said you're in South Jersey next to Philly, man. How is that compared to Poughkeepsie, brother? Are you missing the Palace Diner or what?
Well, actually, so I've always been from South Jersey, but Mark went from the more upstate New York area down to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's super sweet. I'm more of a Philly guy myself. New York's a little much for me. I do like Philly because it's just a watered down New York, which is fun.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's what I like about Louisville, being from a city, Louisville's fine. It's the perfect size. You know, there's stuff going on. There's a lot of things going on sometimes, but not all the time. And, you know, the traffic is not going to kill you, and people like live spread out further enough, you know, further apart. And, you know, if you don't like it, you can just move to Indiana like me. Haha.
Haha. Yeah. And I feel like I love where I live. Just because my whole life I've been in the middle of everything. Like I'm like 20 minutes from Philly, an hour from the shore, an hour and a half from New York City, like 2.5 hours from Baltimore, 3 hours from DC, 5 hours from Boston. It's like, it's nuts.
Yeah, you can
It's
just
like
go
such a
whenever
good
you
place to
want
grow.
on a weekend, man. So Bill Burr's playing in any of those places, you can just go.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty sweet. I literally do sometimes just like look up just like all the comedy clubs in like all those different cities. I'm like, if anyone I like's playing, I'll go. Screw it.
Dude, where do you go for the best Philly cheesesteak? This is a very common question asked on this
Best
podcast to
Philly
anyone in the
cheesesteak.
area.
I'm a big Tony Luke's guy.
Okay, dude, Tony Luke's. Rob
Tony
has
Luke's.
spoken.
Tony Luke's is great. Steve's is great. Jim's. All right, I'm about to get real here. The podcast about to get super raw.
All right, guys.
Raw
Raw
and
dog.
uncut. They all kind of taste the same.
Dude, you heard it here first. This is an exclusive. This is a worldwide exclusive only on the Sean versus Wild podcast, guys. They all
Yes.
just kind of taste the same.
At least to the cruise.
To the cruise. That should be the caption of your next post. They all just kind of taste the same.
They all just kind of taste.
Just get a picture of you with a Philly cheesesteak. Maybe two different ones. You know, you go to
Yeah.
Pat's and Gino's, and it just says they all kind of taste the same.
I do got to say, though, it is great if you have like a buddy. Like one of you gets like one from Gino's, one gets one from Pat's, and then you each split it. That's
Yeah.
a good move.
Yeah, dude, me and Kevin did that, except we just bought a whole one for ourselves at both places and ate it, and then we disagreed on which one that we liked better.
I mean, that's kind of the Philly way to eat and then just disagree.
To eat and then fight.
Yeah.
I think I liked Gino's better because the steak was a little steakier, and then I thought Pat's had like a much more liquid texture to it that soaked my buns, both literally
what you mean.
and figuratively.
Yeah, the Geno's that they kill it. They definitely bring all the pageantry that you would ever want with a cheesesteak, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, dude, you want a cheesesteak, but do you also want to see some guy shaking hands with Sylvester Stallone? Yeah. Like, yeah, of course I would.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone always says, you know, like a cheesesteak with whiz and onions is called a whiz-wit.
Yeah.
But I always felt weird saying it. Like, I felt like it was like I don't know how like authentically Philly that is. Like, I feel like a tourist every time I say it. Like, excuse me, I'll have one of your world famous whiz-wits.
If you know what I'm saying.
I'm from around here.
I'm local. Don't hassle me. I'm local.
Yeah, like I feel like that would be like if I went into New York. I'm like, hey, I'm walking here. You know?
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck? Fucking hot dog. What the fuck?
Taxi. Oh.
Oh, going to
now I'm just
Madison
doing-
Square Garden. Yo.
Now I'm just doing dice.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I think of when I think of inner city New York. You know what I'm saying? People from New York. Hey, I'm Vinny. What the fuck? Hey, yo.
What the fuck?
Just saying the F word.
My
Questioning
first
the F word.
ever New York City experience, I got in on Penn Station, and there was just this little guy in a long trench coat, and he was on it was a flip phone, and this was like 2015, you know?
Right, yeah.
And he's laughing. And then he gets really serious, and then he just screams, "You're a whore! You're a fucking whore!" And then just hangs it up. I'm like, "Yo, I'm in New York.
Yeah,
This is
dude.
great."
Guess what, man? We've arrived. Like looking at all your posse, like, yep, we're here, brother.
Yep.
Dude, though I imagine asking somebody, and I usually ask anybody from the Philly area, I'm like, oh, where do you get the best cheesesteak? But if somebody said, hey, man, where do you get the best mint julep? I would literally have the same thing. Like, you know what, dude? They taste like shit. You can get them anywhere, and they're not all that great. If you want the most expensive one, just buy it at Churchill Downs. Just go to the Derby, buy it at Churchill Downs. That's the most expensive one. Is that the best one? Probably not, but that's probably going to be the one you're happiest with because you paid so much for it. They all just taste like shit.
Yep. They all kind of taste the same.
They all just kind of taste the same. It's like on Office Space, whenever he's just like, what's your favorite Michael Bolton song? It's like, you know what? I kind of like them all. You know, I'm the same way. But yeah, dude. And so you got that music video coming up. You got tour dates coming up. What's next for Moonwalker, man? What are you doing? What are your projected plans going forward?
So throughout the whole summer, we got a few more singles that we're dropping, and then in September we're gonna drop the album, and then in September, I don't know if we could say who with yet, but we are going on a tour. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna announce that.
It's gonna be big business.
Huge. It's gonna be huge,
guys. It's going to be huge. Here's another hint. Jeff Ross also roasted him as well. Just kidding, guys. But do stay tuned for that. Absolutely. Dude, speaking of tours, man, I know we were just talking about this off camera, or off Talk Boy here, before I started rolling on the Talk Boy tape recorder. Man, how awesome does Warped look this summer?
It looks really good. Yeah, cause I've just been like following Assuming We Survive, and that just them posting all the stuff, and our buddies in His Dream Alliance, they're on there too, and yeah, it looks like so much fun. It definitely makes me pretty nostalgic. I mean, the way we did it, being the barbecue band, it was really brutal. It was like the best time of your life that you never want to have again.
Right? Yeah, it was just extremely hard, but at the end of it, it was really super fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like I definitely look back on it fondly. I mean, that tour definitely put a few hairs on my chest.
But it didn't put any on our heads.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
But dude, I miss it too, man. Like, and sometimes I was like, man, I wish we could have just gotten to that point where it's like, you know, you're on a bus and you're playing the main stage. But dude, being out there in the mix of it, really getting to know the people, really just like meeting people on a one-on-one basis, dude, I had such a great time.
Yeah, it's such a unique experience because there really isn't any music festival like that, you know. You really start to just feel like a carny after a while.
Yep, you're always just like hawking your wares, like, oh, hey, you over there, man in the red hat, you're all Jurassic Park'd out. Why don't you come over here and take a listen to this CD?
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Just that the tour's like what, like 2 months long or something like that.
Yeah, basically, it's like 40 days.
Yeah, and there's a few cities that we've only been to when we were on Warped, and people have asked me, like, you know, whatever city it is. They're like, have you been to, like, Salt Lake City? I'm like, yeah, kind of. Because, like, you're just, like, within, like, the confines of, like, this world that they create everywhere else. So, like, you're there, but you don't really feel like it.
Have you ever been to Salt Lake City? Yeah, I went to the Utah Fairgrounds. I'm pretty sure that's located within the city limits. If not, it's right outside of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not really sure. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like touring in general, I guess. I mean, on a regular tour, you get to explore a little more, but for the most part, it is kind of just like unloading, like hanging at the venue. Sometimes you get to walk around a little bit. But,
yeah, within a 2-block radius.
Yeah.
You know,
I would love to. I would love to just go on a road trip sometime, just to like actually see cities, like outside of the confines of playing a show. Even though it is super fun, but I mean, this country is beautiful. Like even just driving through it, dude. Every time, especially like in the West, like this is insane.
Yeah, I love the West. I love the West Coast and driving through it. And, you know, honestly, like I've actually had a conversation the other day. I was like, I've been to 47 out of the 50 states. But really, wow. I haven't seen hardly any of them. You know what I'm saying? Unless we broke down somewhere or had a night layover or something like that, I haven't really spent too much time in any one place. Yeah,
that is the interesting thing about touring. Now, someone at one of the venues, I think it was in Denver, asked me, he was like, what's the one thing that people don't realize about touring? And I basically told him just how much waiting around it is.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, if you don't like have a hobby, whether, honestly, I can see why people just like that are in bands, like you always see people that just have bad habits, man, whether they're like drinking or they're smoking or they're doing this or that. Dude, it's like because literally people are just bored. Like you show up to a sound check at 3:00 and you play at like, I don't know, 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you have to spend 7 hours in a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like what it feels like. I mean, because right now we're just playing like half-hour sets. So basically for 23 and a half hours, we're just waiting to play for a half hour.
Right. And then sell our merch for 15 minutes, and then we have to pack up, and then we go to the next place.
Yeah.
So, yes, you wait 23 hours for really 1 solid hour's worth of work.
Yes, exactly. But, wouldn't trade it for the world. But, yeah, I mean, after touring and you hear like those crazy like VH1 behind the music stories, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're doing it that high of a level where just everything's at your disposal. Like you have so much access to whatever you want, and combine that with boredom, it's like game over.
Yeah, no wonder why all these bands broke up or all these people like lived a life of excess. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just nothing to do. But
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about it, guys, and don't think Rob is either. We're just two old road warriors there, rehashing our glory days, I guess. But
Yes.
no, Rob, you're still in the mix of your glory days, man. Moonwalker has taken off big time.
Yes. I've actually been dying to get back on the road. It's kind of one of those things when you're not doing it, you're like I got to get back out there. And then like once you're like in like a few weeks, I'm like, I want to go home. It's like always
right
back and forth.
It's so funny. Like whenever Warped Tour ended, I was like, oh my God, I am ready to go home and just take a real shower and lay in a real bed and just relax and chill and all that sort of thing. And then about, I don't know, a week later, I was like, yeah, I could do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen enough of this. I'm ready to go back out.
Yeah, dude. We got that gypsy blood.
Exactly, man. Just like the ending of The Hurt Locker, ladies and gentlemen. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but guess what? It's been out for a long time. So that is your fault, not mine.
I agree with that. Should have seen it by now.
Should have seen it coming, brother. What?
I haven't seen it, so I know that the fault lays on me. I should have seen it by now, so I accept the spoil.
Yeah, so I got to go, and I got this spoiled. This conversation's over. I'll talk to you in a year after I've seen The Hurt Locker, but not been as enthused as everyone else because the ending was ruined. But yes, well, Rob, as we're winding down here, brother, where can people find Moonwalker on across social media and all that good sort of thing?
Yeah, so basically on Instagram, we're at Moonwalker Band, Facebook.com/Moonwalker Band. But if you just want to find everything way easier, just go on moonwalkerband.com and you can find us there. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Play, all that good stuff. Check us out, man.
Wherever CDs are sold, man.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, Rob, dude, it was great catching up with you here. I'm going to go ahead, get out and about here. Try not to get lit up by the neighbors' fireworks here. And, yeah. But, yeah, Rob, so what do you have to say to everybody as we ride off here into the proverbial sunset?
Well, first of all, I want to say, dude, thank you so much for having me on. I love the podcast. You're the man. And for everyone out there, just stay righteous.
Exactly. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Beautiful.
Exactly. Well, Rob, great chat with you guys again. And if you like what you heard today, definitely check out Moonwalker. Again, moonwalkerband.com. It's got all the deets there. And if you made it to the end of this podcast, and if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Tell everyone you know about the old Sean vs. Wild podcast. If you're in a band and you're making things happen, hit me up, brother. SeanVSWild@gmail.com. Of course, all my stuff's on iTunes, and it's on Spotify, and it's on Stitcher. It's wherever you get podcasts, guys. I say it each and every week, so just find it. Make it happen. But yeah, Rob, let's go celebrate America style. Let's let off some fireworks of our own here, brother.
Woo-wee!
That's what I'm talking about. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been, well, at least check this out. This is what I call it. I call it the cheeseburger.
Yes, dude. Yes.
AKA the Sean versus Wild podcast. Nobody will like that except for us.
Love it.
Nailed it.
Thank you for listening, DNN.